1993. Ford assembles an elite squad of its very best engineers, gives them one mission: build the ultimate Mustang, and prices it like fine jewelry. Meanwhile, across town, Chevrolet takes a hand-me-down Corvette engine, drops it into a Camaro, builds the whole thing in Canada, and charges $1,700 less. One of these cars embarrassed the other in every magazine test that mattered. Spoiler alert, it was not the expensive one. This is the story of the year exclusivity lost a drag race. Let me paint you a picture of America in 1993. Jurassic Park is in theaters. Everyone's wearing flannel for some reason. And in Detroit, two companies are about to answer the same question in two completely different ways. The question, how do you make a pony car fast again? Ford's answer involved a boutique division, a press conference, and a premium price tag. Chevrolet's answer involved a parts shelf, a calculator, and the kind of shameless engineering shortcut that accountants dream about at night. Grab your coffee. This one's a masterpiece of corporate irony. First, some context. By 1993, the Fox body Mustang was 15 years old. 15! This platform launched in 1979, when disco was still legally allowed. It had survived two gas crises, one attempted front-wheel drive assassination, and an entire decade of being the cheapest way in America to annoy your neighbors. And 1993 was its farewell tour, the very last year of the Fox. So Ford decided the old warrior deserved to go out with a bang. A proper send-off, a halo car. What could possibly go wrong? Enter the Special Vehicle Team, SVT. Ford unveiled its shiny new performance division at the Chicago Auto Show in 1992, and the marketing department was very, very proud of itself. SVT had 4 official hallmarks: performance, substance, exclusivity, and value. 4 words on a slide. Somewhere, a room full of executives applauded a font choice. And to be fair, the mission was genuinely noble. Take Ford's best engineers, free them from the bean counters, and let them build enthusiast cars. Their first project ever, the 1993 Mustang SVT Cobra. And here's the thing, the Cobra was a genuinely serious piece of engineering. This was not a sticker package. SVT grabbed the 5.0-liter V8 and went shopping in Ford's racing catalog. GT40 cylinder heads with bigger valves, a hotter camshaft, roller rockers, a unique cast aluminum intake, a 65mm throttle body, bigger fuel injectors. The result, 235 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. That's 30 more horses than the regular Mustang GT. In 1993, that was a proper number. Remember it, 235, it matters later. The chassis got the full treatment too, and here's where it gets interesting. Everyone expected SVT to make the Cobra stiffer, meaner, harsher. They did the opposite. Softer springs than the GT, progressive rates, recalibrated dampers. The engineers called it controlled compliance, the radical idea that a fast car could also ride like an adult owned it. Add the first 17-inch wheels ever fitted to a factory Mustang, 4-wheel disc brakes, and a 5-speed manual, the T5, with upgraded internals. No automatic? None. You got a clutch pedal or you got nothing. Respect. Now, the exclusivity part. Ford built exactly 4,993 street Cobras. 3 colors only: black, vibrant red, or teal. Yes, teal. Nothing says muscle car like the official color of a 1990s dentist's waiting room. And the price? $18,505 to start, with real window stickers pushing past 20 grand. That made the Cobra the most expensive, most exclusive, most carefully engineered Mustang money could buy. The crown jewel of a 15-year dynasty. Ford had built its masterpiece. There was just one tiny problem, and it was shaped like a catfish. Oh, and one footnote for the truly unhinged, SVT also built 107 Cobra R models. R for racing, no rear seat, no air conditioning, no radio, $25,692 for the privilege of sweating in silence. 107 people signed up for that, and honestly, those are my kind of people. But today's story is about the street Cobra. The one regular humans could actually buy. The one Ford was about to send into battle against the worst possible opponent at the worst possible time. Because while Ford was hand-picking engineers and printing Hallmark slides, General Motors was doing something far more dangerous, being lazy in exactly the right way. 1993 was also the launch year of the fourth-generation Camaro. Brand new body, plastic front fenders, a windshield angle stolen from a fighter jet. The enthusiast press took one look at that face and nicknamed it the Catfish, which sounds like an insult until you remember what this particular catfish was hiding under the hood. Chevrolet didn't build a special engine for the new Z28. Oh no, they did something much cheaper and much crueler. They stole one from the Corvette. Let that sink in. The LT1, 5.7 liters, 350 cubic inches of Corvette's finest, introduced in America's sports car just 1 year earlier at 300 horsepower. Chevrolet's engineers looked at that engine, looked at the Camaro's low hood, shrugged, and stuffed it in anyway. The sleeker nose forced a lower intake setup, which trimmed the rating to 275 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque. So the Camaro got a slightly detuned Corvette engine, the hand-me-down, the leftovers. The leftovers made 275 horsepower. And the generosity didn't stop there. Standard transmission, a Borg Warner T56 6-speed manual, 6 gears. In 1993, the Cobra had 5. Dual airbags, standard. Anti-lock brakes, standard. This thing had more safety equipment than most luxury sedans, and more firepower than anything wearing a blue oval. And the price, $16,799. $16,799. One period reviewer called the Z28 the new standard by which sports coupes must be measured, and pointed out it was running with $34,000 Japanese tech missiles while costing less than half. Take a second. Breathe. A detuned Corvette engine for under 17 grand. I'll wait while your wallet processes that. Now for my favorite detail in this entire story. This all-American muscle icon. The Camaro, star of every county fair and questionable mullet decision since 1967, was built in Sainte-Thérèse, Quebec, Canada. The most American car of 1993 was assembled by our polite neighbors up north, while the boutique, exclusive, elite SVT Cobra rolled out of Dearborn, Michigan, the beating heart of Ford country. So in this matchup, the premium American Halo car was the American one, and the cheap brawler was technically an import. History has a sense of humor, and it is savage. So let's set the table for the fight of 1993. In the blue corner, the SVT Cobra, 235 horsepower, 5 gears, $18,505, 4,993 units of pure exclusivity. In the red corner, the Camaro Z28, 275 horsepower, 6 gears, $16,799, and absolutely zero interest in being polite about it. If you're enjoying this corporate demolition so far, the subscribe button is right there. It's free, which is more than Ford could say. Now, let's do the math. The arithmetic here is just brutal. The Cobra cost $1,706 more than the Z28 and delivered 40 fewer horsepower. Say that out loud. More money, less power. That's not a value proposition, that's a donation. For the price gap alone, you could have bought a decade of oil changes, a very nice set of tires, or roughly 1,700 gas station hot dogs. And torque? The Camaro had 45 more pound-feet. And gears? 1 extra. Every single number on the spec sheet pointed the same direction, and it was not pointing at Dearborn. But spec sheets are theory. Magazines are court. And in February of 1993, Motor Trend put both cars on the same pavement, on the same day, with the same drivers, the automotive equivalent of a courtroom trial with no lawyers allowed. Ford sent its hand-picked masterpiece, the crown jewel of 15 years of Fox body evolution. Chevrolet sent its Canadian-built parts, bin special, with the borrowed engine. What happened next has been quietly haunting Ford fans for over 30 years. 0 to 60, the Camaro, 5.6 seconds. The Cobra, 6.2. 5.6 against 6.2. The cheaper car won by 0.6 of a second, which in a stoplight drag race is not a victory, it's a restraining order. By the time the Cobra hit 60, the Camaro driver had already checked his mirrors, adjusted the radio, and started composing the story he'd tell at work on Monday. 0.6. Between rivals, that's not a gap, that's a statement. The quarter mile told the same story with extra cruelty. The Z28, 14 seconds flat at 98.8 miles per hour. The Cobra, 14.4 at 97.4. 14. Flat. 0.4 of a second and over a mile per hour of trap speed in favor of the car that cost $1,700 less. And this wasn't cherry-picked. Road and Track tested the Cobra separately and got 5.9 to 60. Quicker, sure. Still not 5.6. No matter which magazine you trusted, the answer came back the same. The bargain beat the boutique. Let's fully appreciate what this meant. Ford created an entire elite division, wrote a mission statement, held a press conference, hand-selected its finest engineers, rated the racing parts catalog, charged a premium for exclusivity, and the result got walked, publicly, by a Camaro whose entire development strategy was borrow the Corvette's engine and hope nobody at the Corvette office notices. Somewhere in a Dearborn conference room, a product planner stared at that motor trend issue for a very long time. That pricing meeting, ladies and gentlemen, that was a 3-martini decision. Let that one marinate. An elite division, beaten by leftovers. Still with me? Good, because Ford actually had a defense, sort of. Now, sarcasm aside for exactly one paragraph, because fair is fair. The Cobra was fighting with one arm tied behind its back. The Fox platform was 15 years old. This was an old soldier's final march against a brand new weapon designed from a clean sheet of paper. And within its own family, the Cobra was genuinely the king, the fastest street fops Mustang Ford ever sold, 30 horses up on the GT. There's even more. Modern dyno tests suggest that 235 horsepower rating was conservative. The engine likely made more than Ford admitted. The Cobra wasn't slow. It just picked the single worst year in history to exist. And SVT would tell you, with a straight face, that the Cobra was never built to win drag races. It was built to be complete, refined. That softer suspension, the 17-inch wheels, the 4-wheel discs, this was a grand touring philosophy, a gentleman's Mustang, which is a beautiful argument, right up until you remember they called it a Cobra. You cannot name your car after a venomous snake and then explain that it's actually more of a thoughtful, well-rounded companion. Nobody buys a Cobra for the ride quality. That's like ordering a hot sauce called Widowmaker because you heard it pairs nicely with salad. Meanwhile, Chevrolet's philosophy fit on a napkin: biggest engine, lowest price, next question. No hallmarks, no mission statement, no 4-word slide, just a 350 cubic inch answer to a 302 cubic inch question, and the market voted loudly. Chevrolet moved 17,850 Z28s that year, more than 3.5 times the entire Cobra production run. The pony car crown that Ford had worn through most of the 80s, the whole 5.0 era we covered a few episodes back, changed heads in a single model year. Even Indianapolis piled on. The 1993 Indy 500 needed a pace car, and the honor went to the Camaro Z28. Chevrolet celebrated by building 633 black and white pace car replicas, because if there's one thing GM has never resisted, it's a commemorative edition. So in the Cobra's farewell year, the grand finale of 15 years of Fox, the fast one and the famous one was the Camaro. The boutique snake got the magazine covers. The Canadian catfish got the checkered flag. 1993 belonged to Chevrolet, and it wasn't close. Here's a phrase for you: more money, less horsepower. 4 words that summarize an entire product strategy. Honestly, that phrase deserves to be framed and hung on a garage wall somewhere, right next to the tools. A permanent reminder of what happens when the marketing budget and the engine budget stop talking to each other. Ford paid for a legend and shipped a lesson. And the lesson was about to get one final, glorious twist. Because this story does not end in 1993. Plot twist number 1, 1994. Ford finally retires the Fox and launches the all-new SN95 Mustang, and with it, a brand new Cobra. Fresh body, fresh chance, new rating, 240 horsepower, 240, against the Camaro's 275. Ford's clean sheet redesign, its big generational leap, its answer to the LT1, came up 35 horses short on day 1. The new Cobra was a better car in 100 ways, but at the number everyone reads first, Chevrolet was still holding the pen. The horsepower war would rage for another decade, and we've covered those battles in other episodes. Plot twist number 2, and this one's delicious. Guess who paced the Indy 500 in 1994? The Mustang Cobra. 1 year after the Camaro got the flag, Ford Snake, in convertible form, Rio Red, saddle interior, led the field at Indianapolis, and Ford built exactly 1,000 pace car replicas to celebrate. So both of our fighters ended up wearing the same crown, 12 months apart. It's almost poetic, like 2 heavyweight boxers who spent a year trying to end each other, then showed up to the same party wearing the same outfit. And the sales scoreboard? Also complicated. Because here's the thing, Ford sold 114,228 Mustangs in 1993. All models combined. Chevrolet sold 39,103 Camaros. So Ford absolutely dominated the showroom, while Chevrolet dominated the stopwatch. Ford outsold, Chevy outran, which tells you something uncomfortable about the car business. Most buyers never read the motor trend numbers. They bought the pony on the grill, the payment on the paper, and the memory of every 5.0 they'd ever heard at a stoplight. 2 winners, 2 losers. Same 2 cars. The 90s were confusing, and we haven't even reached the best part. Because plot twist number 3 is the one nobody saw coming, the collector market. Fast forward to today. That 1993 Z28. The faster car, the smarter buy, the magazine hero. Clean examples still trade for roughly the price of a used family crossover. Meanwhile, the Cobra, the slower, pricier one, has become a blue-chip collectible. Nice ones command several times what an equivalent Z28 brings, and a virtually new, delivery mileage Cobra was recently bid past $75,000 at auction. $75,000 for the car that lost. And when you think about it, it makes perfect, infuriating sense. Collectors don't pay for quarter-mile slips. They pay for scarcity and story. 4,993 Cobras versus 17,850 Z28s. First SVT product ever versus first year of a 10-year production run. Last of the Fox dynasty versus the beginning of the Catfish era. The Cobra checked every collector box the day it left Dearborn. It just needed 30 years for the market to notice. Exclusivity lost the drag race in 1993 and then won the auction in slow motion. So who actually won? Depends entirely on which year you're standing in. In 1993, the Camaro won, decisively, publicly, mathematically. Through the 90s, Chevrolet held the performance crown, while Ford held the sales crown, and both companies pretended their trophy was the one that mattered. But today, the guy who paid $1,700 extra for the slow one, the guy everyone at the drag strip quietly laughed at, is the one holding the appreciating asset. 30 years is a long time, long enough for a punchline to become a portfolio. There's a bigger story hiding in here too, a Ken Burns story, if you'll allow me. 1993 was the exact moment American performance split into 2 philosophies that still fight today. Chevrolet bet on raw value, maximum engine per dollar, no apologies. Ford bet on brand and craft, the idea that a performance car could be an object, not just a number. The Camaro won the sprint, but SVT's playbook, limited numbers, dedicated teams, halo engineering, is now how every manufacturer on Earth builds its flagship performance cars. Ford lost the test and accidentally wrote the future's instruction manual. SVT itself never stopped swinging either. That humbled little division from 1993 went on to build Cobras through 2004, nearly 80,000 snakes in total, each generation clawing back ground until the badge became genuinely feared. The lesson took, is my point. You don't get the later legends without the 1993 reality check. Sometimes the most valuable thing an engineering team can receive is a public, documented, magazine-printed beating delivered at 98.8 miles per hour by a catfish from Canada. So the next time someone tells you exclusivity, heritage, and a hand-picked team of elite engineers always beat a parts shelf and a calculator, show them February of 1993. The masterpiece lost to the leftovers. The mission statement lost to the napkin. And the $1,700 premium bought exactly 0.6 of a second in the wrong direction. But give it 30 years, and somehow the punchline becomes the prize. Fine jewelry depreciates slower than horsepower, apparently. Somewhere, that Dearborn product planner is finally smiling. It just took 3 decades, and 1 more martini. If you enjoyed watching corporate America speedrun the difference between price and value, you're in the right garage. Hit subscribe. Unlike the Cobra, it costs nothing and performs immediately. Drop a comment and settle it forever. The faster Camaro at $16,799 or the collectible Cobra at $18,500. Which one's in your dream garage? Next time, another rivalry, another spreadsheet, another decision that made perfect sense to somebody in a conference room. This is Car Chronicles, where the leftovers run 14 flat.